Warning! The following is intended for mature audiences. It includes references to the use of illicit substances as well as crude humor. Viewer discretion is advised.
When everybody hates it, we think it's okay. When everybody likes it, we gotta complain. We're quite contrary.
Thank you, and welcome to Quite Contrary, the show that's mathematically designed to disagree with you. I'm Zach Nanimus.
Johnny Dim.
And he is always off when he points at the camera at that bit. Disagree with you. Today we are talking about yet another reboot. Last time it was the Powered Rangers.
The Powered Rangers.
Yeah, the Powered Rangers. And this time it's Ghosty Shells.
Ghost in the Shell.
Today we're talking about Ghost in the Shell. It's a movie with Scarlett Johansson based on a mid-90s...
95.
It was exactly 90. It was the exact middle of the 90s.
Yep.
It was a mid-90s movie, animated, made in Japan. Some may call it anime. Some may call it moving manga. But it was a psychological thriller about people getting cybernetic enhancements, and eventually they would get full cybernetic brains, and it brought up the question, what is humanity, blah, 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 blah. 22 years later, they made a...
It doesn't even matter anymore.
Kind of a dumb action movie.
Calm down. Calm the hell down.
Johnny really likes this movie. I think it is bland.
Ghost in the Shell is actually scoring pretty well. It's in the mid-70s right now.
It's a solid C.
Right. But Rotten Tomatoes says it's good, so we're going to tell you it sucks.
Number 1. Boring action. So the original Ghost in the Shell never really prided itself on great action. It was more psychology. The movie went way more sort of like kind of trying to be The Matrix, kind of trying to be Blade Runner, and...
Trying to be like a cop drama, in a way.
Well, the original was a cop drama, but
Yeah.
it had way more of these ethical questions to chew on in it. The movie had more action, but what they failed to do was make that action interesting. There's so many things that you could do with this concept. If you're going to take out some of the dialogue and put in more motion, I think that they could have done well to maybe give Major some unusual characteristics, like maybe she could turn her arm all the way around to punch somebody, or do odd sorts of gymnastics, make odd shapes with herself, possibly even have weapons mounted inside of her. You know, none of this is far-fetched in a world where she can literally make herself invisible. Really, all of the action in this movie consists of gun battles where the bad guys blatantly refuse to shoot the main characters, and then one shot from the main character, they go down in one punch. The only really interesting one, I thought, was the one that they ripped right out of the original, where this one guy can't even defend himself. And the most satisfying one is actually under a minute long. And that's the one with the boss. Remember? Like all the guys come to shoot up his car, and it's like, oh, he's dead. They shot
right.
him.
Yeah,
and then he comes out with a normal revolver and just kills them all while blocking with his briefcase. It's so lazy.
It's very cool, though.
We did, but that was the one that you enjoyed because, yeah, the old man's getting them. That's always really satisfying for some reason, to watch old men kill people.
Zach, I don't know what you're complaining about as far as the action being too short. I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't last a minute with her wearing that. You know, those...
Don't say it.
Number 2. Hamfisted Psychology. So the original Ghost in the Shell was, as Zach had already mentioned, it's a dive deep into different psychological elements, questions of philosophy, and all kinds of interesting things that are bound to happen when you're colliding, humanity and technology in that way. This version, the live-action version, barely touches on it. And when it does touch on it, it's in a very simplistic, very ham-fisted way, like our title so aptly put it.
It's shimmed in.
Right.
They kind of just throw it sporadically into stuff, and it's never a debate.
Right.
They're never talking, there's never the question of, is AI a valid human experience?
Right.
Do these robots have a place in our society? Is there some virtue to being human?
Right.
These problems don't exist for them.
Right, but in the original, what's done so well, and the ham-fisted part of this particular topic is that it was done such in almost a poetic way, where they left it open-ended. They let the viewer interpret what was going on, what was often just visually, in a very smooth and just with the aesthetics, just with the vision.
Very smooth backside. That's what I got out of that. Very smooth, very soft, very toned.
They slipped it right in without you noticing.
What you really get is a few scenes where Bato is sitting there and boorishly just says in no uncertain terms the exact psychological question that the audience is supposed to ask itself. Mm-hmm. It's just, thank God Hollywood has not made a habit of dumbing down highly respected source material.
Number 3. Mom. Oh. Spoiler alert. Jump to number 4 if you don't want it ruined.
Well, jump to this time code. We'll know exactly.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on your face. Major actually gets to meet what is her mom.
She gets tipped off by her doctor.
Right.
Because they've been injecting her with false memories, and now she's unraveling the mystery of her real life.
Right. So she's unraveling. I think she's discovering her past. She wants to know where she came from. It goes very much like this, in a nutshell. Major gets to the door. Lady that doesn't know who this person is at her door lets her in.
And it's very much like, oh, hello, come in. She's very Japanese. I'm not doing a thing. I'm not making a dig at anybody. She's definitely, oh yes, come in. Like super quick.
Yeah. She should come in, have some tea, let me tell you my entire life story, and let me tell you how my daughter died. You know, she just unloads on her. And Major, like she does in most of the movie, doesn't say very much. At all.
By the end of it, she's like, you remind me of my daughter. After she's like, my daughter was always completely silent and had a robot face. I'm really just worried that this isn't Major's mom. Mm-hmm. This is how she greets everybody at the door. Hey, I have your wings here.
Yes, do you want some tea?
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, come in.
I'm not supposed to come in, but
it's okay. Have tea.
Oh, hey, I think I'm lost. I don't really know where I'm at.
You want tea?
Oh, God.
Here's your tea. You're my daughter now.
What?
Hello, daughter. Tea!
Number 3. Computers don't work like that, Johnny. I don't know why I had to call you out personally.
I don't know.
One of the big plot devices in this movie is code. They use code to explain pretty much everything. Code can harm you if you're in the wrong area. Code can widen your teeth. 5 times better than the modern compiler. Mm-hmm. Whatever. They do it for everything. Now, that's not so bad. But what I take exception to, and where this gripe really comes to a head, and Johnny agrees with me, you actually wanted to talk about this specifically, was something in the movie called The Deep Dive.
The Deep Dive!
Now, The Deep Dive is something that the Major does to a robot, not an entity, a robot. Mm-hmm. And she's
going down. What's the rest of that song? Shimmy Cocoa Pop?
Shimmy Rye. I had biscuit, a Triscuit.
Yeah, enough of that.
Ice cream soda with vanilla on the top. Ooh, lady, walking down the street 10 times a week. I read it, I said it, I stole my mama's credit. I'm cool, I'm hot. Sock me in the stomach 12 more times.
I really wish I didn't start that.
She's going into this one robot. It's not a human, it's a robot. She's going in, and she's going in cybernetically. She's going to network with this thing in order to recompile a crime scene that she was in and hopefully gather code on who was manipulating her at the time. Maybe back hacking her IPs is essentially what they're doing. But the worst thing is that when she goes into the deep dive, for some reason, remember, it's not magic, it's computers. She goes into the deep dive, and for some reason, the user interface is her falling down a hellmouth into like this dark, dank laboratory thing. And it's like, that's how this is for her. This is like booting up Windows. This is a normal program for her. Why would it be like this? All they really had to do was say, oh, because it's the human mind interfacing with the machine, then sometimes
that's how it interprets.
Yeah, sometimes it can look like a dream or feel like a nightmare, and that would have been it. But they didn't. One line could have made it all make sense.
If computers work like this in the real world, social media would be a nightmare. You know what? Hold on, 1 second. Let me check my Facebook.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to number 5, we do have some awesome patrons who have a few things that they'd like us to say to you.
First thing, Camp Gladiator. If you guys like working out, getting in shape, doing a healthy thing for your body and just for your life, go check out campgladiator.com. Check it out. You can actually see if a location is near you. Next, we have the Humane Society, specifically the one in Sunset, Louisiana, which last time I put the link down here, it will be there again. Check it out. It's really cool. And just in general, if you're looking for a pet, go adopt one. There are plenty of pets, awesome pets, cats, dogs, whatever, at your local SPCA
or orphanage.
Orphanage, Humane Society. Also, what's that place called down by the river?
That's a van.
It's a van. Go see if there's a dog in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the opinion of Quite Contrary that you should not open strange vans near the river. Thank you, Johnny. Number 5. Too artsy fartsy. Recently, I've been reading up a little bit of the things that Douglas Adams said, not just in his book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I absolutely love.
About farts?
Not farts, about arts.
Oh!
And he said that in so many words that art is the bane of creativity, and I think that this movie kind of exemplifies that. Every shot in this movie was trying so hard to be dripping with drama and color and movement and slow motion effects, trying so hard to be John Woo, and they kind of forgot the rest of the movie. This movie is shot beautifully. But the thing is that when something's shot beautifully, it calls attention to it. It gives it a sort of pomp and circumstance. And with this story attached to those shots, I was sitting there wondering why we're wasting so much time looking at something that I don't care about. The first shot in this movie is guilty of it.
I think, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's just they're building ScarJo's robot body, and like they have to make a T-800, a Terminator, and then they put it in like a pool of whiteness. She comes up, she's in a Masonic pose, and then all the white paint chips off of her like 1,000 doves. It's all of this Christ imagery. You can't take something I don't care about and suddenly make me care about it because of your cinematic setup.
Wait, why am I watching this?
Everybody, thanks so much for hanging out. That was Ghost in the Shell.
Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please subscribe. Thank you very much to our beautiful, fantastic, amazing patrons. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click the link. It'll be up here in a second.
Now, as always, I'd like to end the show by eating some delicious fruit snacks in silence. Today's will be Ninja Fruit, brought to you by, what's our superfan's name?
Jesse.
Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. Mm.